Come in.
Hi, Nick. So great to see you again.
Good to see you. Welcome.
My name is Hannah Robson.
Hey.
I have a business card for you if you have one for me.
I do. Here you go.
Oh, I'm going to keep my phone out and set a timer just so I can be conscious of your time today.
Okay. That's perfect.
Okay. So when we talked at the Business After Hours event, we talked about 15 minutes. Is that still okay for you today?
It really is. Thank you.
Perfect. So I just wanted to set a quick agenda. I kind of wanted to learn about your current policy, anything you, like whatever news and stuff, any issues you're currently having with your policy and your broker, about your decision process a little, any questions you have for me, and then just go from there and try to figure out a solution for you, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So what's your current policy like? When does it renew? Do you have any issues with it?
Renews June 1.
Okay.
I always like to try to make the decision mid-May,
Okay.
so I'm not running right up on the,
definitely.
expiration date.
Okay.
I have taken over this business from my parents.
Okay.
My wife and I now run the business.
Okay.
And so, as they say in some of this, that's my current broker is my dad's guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things you and I talked about at the After Hours event was establishing a relationship.
Yeah.
And getting a person that I know as I grow this business.
Yeah.
Past where my dad had it, which is very successful. I want to have somebody to go along with me.
I mean, a little bit about Seminole Futures is, Seminole Insurance is we started as a family business. We've been in Tallahassee for a while now. And something we really pride ourselves on is constant communication, constantly checking up on you. It's like your call, but we can talk as much as you want. So if you want me to come by once a month and check up, we can. I can come as often as you want, as little as you want, but definitely keeping the lines of communication open and just constantly adapting your policy to make sure you have the best coverage possible is something we really pride ourselves on.
Well, good. That's good to hear because that's what I'm looking for. Somebody that's established, but also is able to grow with me as I grow.
Okay. Is there anyone else that should be here today, like that's involved in the decision process, or that?
Well, Carol's my wife.
Okay.
We are business partners.
Okay.
But the way we've separated our duties, so to speak, is I handle the back of the house and the financial aspect of the business. She handles the front of the house.
Okay.
So I'll make this decision.
Okay, perfect. That's great. So do you have any current risk control processes in place? I saw you have masonry walls, which are fire resistant, and then sprinklers, but do you have any staff training or anything like that since you do serve wine and
again, I've taken over the business from my parents. I'm sure they've had some things in place.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with some of those things. We can certainly learn from staff about that.
Okay, so at Seminole Insurance, we offer risk control help. We have a risk control specialist. So if we're interested, we can bring someone in and try to evaluate some risks that maybe you wouldn't see. And then we can help you put proper training in place and other risk control aspects, like just different security alarms and things like that, because when you do serve liquor, you have a huge liquor liability.
Right.
So you want to make sure your waitresses and waiters and staff are trained to serve it the best and know what to do in case something was to go wrong.
Okay.
Sorry. Do you have any other concerns with your policy right now, or any questions that you're kind of unclear on with it?
Yeah, I think two major components.
Okay.
The first one is, and where my wife and I differ a little bit on it, is I want to expand our wine selections.
Yeah, I saw that. You wanted to expand that.
And I want to go into the higher end.
Okay.
She is a little more conservative and skeptical about that. And so certainly that is a concern. You already brought it up about liquor liability. You already worried up about people serving and so on and so forth. But I think we're at a point in the restaurant where it's well established. We have a nice client base. And I think adding the higher end wines is kind of now an expectation of those clients.
Yeah.
So that's certainly a concern. If I do that, what is the impact, on my business?
Yeah, you want to make sure that when you do enter that, you're going to have the liability to cover it, just because it is a huge liability, especially in Tallahassee, having it be a college town and a lot of young kids.
Yeah.
I also saw that you have some really nice architecture, like the stained glass walls and things like that, or windows. So do you have any current concerns about your policy with those? If something, God forbid, was to happen, you want to make sure those are covered.
Right. Well, we've done all this ourselves, my dad and I. I mean, we enjoy this. It's our labor of love.
Yeah.
So again, been told that we have coverage and we have the proper coverage on those things.
Okay.
But again, I'm still wanting to make sure, I want to make sure that we do have the coverage.
Okay.
But more importantly, something that I just went through with my dad, we had a loss, and we turn in a claim, and find out there's no coverage.
Okay. Yeah, that's
So
definitely
now all
not
of a
something
sudden
you
I'm
want
out
to
of
happen.
pocket some money, and we were told, oh yeah, you got plenty of coverage for that. So whoever we go with, whoever you propose, you know, I've got to have, I've just been through that, so I'm gun shy a little bit. So I want to make sure whatever the carrier is that we go with has the proper finances and the proper coverage to cover a loss.
So did your current broker ever sit down and go through your policy with you, or were you just kind of handed one and you didn't know what was covered and what wasn't?
Yeah, my dad's guy, so again, he dealt with him more so than I am. I'm dealing with him now.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's been a learning experience.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that's definitely something we would want to do is sit down with you with the policy, not necessarily have to go through it line by line, but just make sure that you understand what is and isn't covered, add in the extensions that you want to be covered. Like, you want to make sure everything's covered pretty much to the extent we can. So we can, like I said, meet as much as you want.
Good.
And get a policy figured out for you. Are you having any other concerns with Do you have any concerns about Seminole insurance as a whole?
Well, again, I don't know about as a whole, but as you sit here across from me, certainly, you know, I grew up in the restaurant business with my dad, and I was young at one point. You know, you're relatively young.
Yeah.
You know, and may have some accounts under your belt, whether it's these type of accounts or not. So I guess the concern is just having a comfort level of dealing with you, just age-wise or experience-wise.
I mean, I really understand, but I mean, I've been with Seminole Insurance for 2 years now. Came here right after I graduated with an RMI and sales major degree. So I can assure you that even if I am young, so even if I'm not the head person and I'm having trouble figuring something out because I'm a little bit less experienced than some, there's someone right there to help me always. And it wouldn't be just me working on your case. It's going to be a team with me and other brokers, the risk control specialists, underwriters, pretty much everyone working together for your team. And I do handle a lot of smaller accounts like yours. I work a lot with restaurants. I've helped a few. We've gotten their policies way turned around, figured out a way better solution. So I know age is a concern, but I promise, like, with our company as a whole, you're not just getting me, you're getting Seminole Insurance.
Okay.
So we can help you with that and clear up any concerns you have about that. Did that clear up the concern?
Very, very helpful.
Okay.
And you know, the team approach, I appreciate that.
Okay. So we want to talk about our main concerns. I think would be the liquor, the restaurant under you or the building doesn't have sprinklers. So things like that we can put in place. Figure out a policy. Figure out some risk control techniques. If it would be okay with you, I'd like to talk with the team and come back and set up another meeting. Is there a time next week that works for you?
Out all next week, so it has to be the following week.
Okay.
So.
What day works for you? Does Thursday work?
Thursday works.
Okay.
It would have to be in the afternoon between 2 and 3 because that's right after lunch and before our happy hour starts.
Okay.
So,
I can meet you at 2 if that works.
That works.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You okay?
No, I don't do sales. That was horrible. I really don't know anything. It was like 5 minutes long. So, whatever.
So when do you graduate?
Next spring.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm technically a sales major, but I haven't taken the I've been pretty much just in risk management courses so far, kind of trying to knock out one major and done the other. So.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. I have an internship with Amwins this summer.
Where? What office?
Palm Beach Gardens.
Okay.
So.
Our current intern at FAI, she's starting with Amwins in Orlando after she graduates.
Really? I really like them. I'm really excited.
They're a great company.
Yeah, I think the internship will be really good.
It will. Because
right now, I mean, I know some, but it's kind of, they said I'll bounce around between departments and then figure out which one I like the best.
Exactly.
So I think once I do that, I'll have a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, great company, good folks.
And it's right where I live, which is nice.
It is?
Yeah, I live in Palm Beach Gardens, so it's literally right down the street. It's great.
Wow, that is cool.
What do you do? Oh, I'm sorry, what's your name?
My name is Dave Newell.
Okay.
I'm Director of Education at FAI.
Really?
The association.
Awesome. Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Good
Have a
luck to you.
one. Thank you.
You can leave that open.
Okay.
Okay.